No way.
All right, welcome in to Popcorn and Beers, where some use tomatoes and others use thumbs. We use the stuff that gets you drunk. And this was one where I think everybody kind of needs a drink with our butter on top, Jordan. I mean, it was out there. It was definitely out there. So why don't we lead off with you? What did you think of this week's Drunk Classic?
Oh man, where do I start? It's just this gorgeous softcore porn monstrosity of a movie. It is. I mean, look, it's artistically, it's just a perfect movie. The acting is great. Mark Ruffalo is such a likable guy, but he is despicable in this movie. He is just a piece of crap.
You're the worst kind of woman. You're a...
Yeah. He goes there full on misogynist piece of crap. I don't like Emma Stone. Her performance, like at the no, I like her, but her performance at the beginning of the movie.
I don't like Emma Stone. That was like me with Shailene Woodley last week when I was reviewing Ferrari. Like, I immediately regretted my word choice. I was like, that's not how I meant it.
Yeah. No, I do like her, but I don't like her at the beginning of the movie. Like playing, I don't want to say, there's a Tropic Thunder quote, never go full, you know what? Yeah. It does. It's a little... I just didn't like it. And then, but she develops her character very well a lot later in, and she's got like an award-winning performance for sure in this movie. I could see why she won. Would she win the
Golden Globe for Best Actress, I think, in a musical or comedy?
Yeah. Fully deserved that. The costumes and the designs and everything in this movie were fantastic.
The set designs were almost for Josh, Wes Anderson-y.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Moving curtain stuff and all that, like
cardboard backdrops where it's just kind of like
diorama
set pieces, designs, like pop-up book style.
Yeah,
nice.
That's a really good analogy. Yeah,
nice.
Just some good lines in this movie. When Mark Ruffalo is really going through it, and that guy comes up, he's like, "Hey, I will kick your dog to death."
That real quick. All right.
And there's a particular. So I was in a theater of mostly older couples watching this movie. It seemed like the general demographic. It was real awkward in there. You can feel the discomfort of everyone around you watching this movie.
Dude, I was texting under my jacket, and I was like, I hope people don't think anything nefarious is going on.
Oh, they did.
They might have.
Write my review under my jacket,
Yeah.
And I was very selective of the times when I took notes on the movie.
Yeah, they're like, "Hey, calm down over there, Pee Wee."
Right. R.I.P.
But there's a particular scene that it really got a reaction from the audience, and it was funny because it's just a long awkward pause when Ruffalo and Emma Stone first start kind of getting their drama going between each other, and he's like asked her to marry him, and he's like, "Well, I will." What's he say? "I will throw you over the boat." And she's like, "So that's your proposal? You want me to marry you, or you're gonna kill me?" And then they just stare at each other long and awkwardly, and just everyone. It was the reaction from the crowd was so funny. And that's just kind of how the whole movie is kind of the general what this movie makes you feel. It's just awkward, uncomfortable. Yeah, I don't know how to describe this movie. It's so weird. I give it a popcorn in one. I feel like it's okay to like this movie and see it one time and be like, that was an okay movie. I like it. But I just feel like this is not a movie that you're like, I want to watch that again, or I want someone else to go see this.
Well, it sounds like you're
like I don't.
Sounds like you're maybe in the realm of like maybe a Requiem for a Dream type of movie where like you reluctantly watch it again. Is that right?
Yeah, I feel like if someone is like, oh, I like this movie and I want to watch it again and again and again, like you might be a little bit of a sociopath. Like, it's just kind of
perv.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, sure. Mr. Skin loves this movie for sure.
It's funny because it's like, look, I think Jordan's basically saying, look, I think people should see this movie, but I don't want to be the one that recommends it to people.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Right.
no.
Because, like, what will they think of me if
Yeah.
I recommend this movie to people?
Seems like there's a lot of subtext, though,
look,
right?
It's obviously a terribly odd take on Frankenstein. That really is what this movie is. It's an odd take on Frankenstein and Victor Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster, but she refers to Defoe as God throughout the movie. She calls her creator God, and it is terribly odd. Without giving anything away, he puts the brain of an infant into the body of an adult female that
Wow.
had committed suicide. And there's a lot of reasoning behind this that almost makes you feel like it was, even though it's a terrible act, justified. Anyway, it gives you insight into why he chose to do it, and it almost seems like it's a redeemable reason to put the brain of an infant into an adult person. Outside of that, I thought Ruffalo absolutely deserves to be in the race for Best Supporting Actor. I thought he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, after they have sex, he leans back in bed and he goes, oh. She goes, why don't people just do this all the time? He goes, I hardly think you'll find it as entertainment since you've been with the best now 3 times.
Yeah, he's a scumbag.
Yeah, he totally is. And then she goes, is that a weakness in men then? You stay soft. And he goes, no. It is funny, and it is told through the lens of a human discovering life, right? And it's a story of kind of self-discovery, but they utilize sexual exploration as the vehicle for growth and for discovery. And it's almost Pavlovian in that sense. Is that yeah, that is, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think I'm correct in that. And she gives into every temptation, and she feels everything as an infant would if an infant was like cognizant of what was going on. Like, there's a scene where somebody shows her how bad the world can be, and you kind of get the impression, okay, she did a great job acting out how a young impressionable person would react in that situation. There's a lot to like about this. I mean, it doesn't always have to be about the furious jumping, right, Jordan? We don't have to focus on the furious jumping. which was a very funny way she referred to sex.
Yeah. Can we do furious jumping again?
Furious jumping, huh? That's great.
It was fantastic. And there are some scenes with an older woman that she befriends that she starts to learn the world from. Ruffalo, in a fit of rage, runs up and he grabs her book and he throws it overseas because she's reading, who was it? Hemingway. She's reading Hemingway, and he throws her book over the sea, and the old lady takes the book and it takes her copy and hands it to her so she can keep reading right next to her. So there is quite a bit. Her first experience, she goes off and she becomes what's the proper word for a lady of the night, and she is that what would it be? An adult escort, female escort. She becomes an escort, and her first experience as an escort is pretty hilarious. Like, I laughed out loud. I thought that was so funny. Like, I think that summed up the type of dude that would go to one of those places is like right there in that scene. And the what is it? What's the lady that runs those places called?
The Madam.
The Madam. Thank you. What a weirdo. She should be up for a Best Supporting Actor. Or actress, I think, because that, even though she's only in the movie for a very short time, if the old lady from Titanic can get a Best Supporting Actress nod, I think this lady, because she was so creepy and weird and into it, like I was revolted by the Madam. And I think that's the mark of somebody that did a great job acting out a character. Outside of that, I give it. I've been struggling. The score, though, perfectly matches the movie. It is so perfectly awkward, and so is the movie. It's very awkward. And now that I have more context into what the movie is, I think more of it. So I'm going to give it a popcorn and 2.
Okay.
Popcorn and 2. Definitely deserving of its Oscar buzz.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, before we get to your drunk classic, Josh, Jordan, did did you list out your top 3 movies from this year?
Oh snap!
Yeah. Let's see. Oppenheimer for sure.
Okay.
Oh God, I'm gonna go. I guess I have to throw in Barbie in there too, just off of execution and originality. I mean, was it really that great of a movie? But good movie.
Okay.
Yeah, and Talk to Me. Talk to Me?
Really?
Yeah.
Talk to me, huh?
Really? The horror
Yeah.
movie?
Yeah.
Not Iron Claw. Talk to me.
Whoa. Is Iron Claw
This year?
technically it's at this year?
Yeah. 2023.
Okay, then Iron Claw. Yeah, for sure.
Because you were raving about that movie.
Oh yeah.
I haven't
definitely.
seen it yet, but I was like shocked when you didn't put that on your list just now.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
I was like, man, you were talking this movie up.
I had thought that counted as this year. I don't know.
No. It's
Yeah,
on.
okay.
It's on this year's. If it's on this year's ballots for the Oscar, it is 2023.
Okay, then yes, those are my 3.
Josh.
Dang.
Actually, you know what, Josh? I'm gonna go because
fine.
I'm gonna let
Take
you
it.
go last, so you can lead into your drunk classic. So I'm gonna go ahead and go. My number 3 movie was Air. I loved Air. I probably
Ooh,
liked
I
Air
consider-
more than I should have. Did you?
consider
Yeah,
that.
I
Yep.
really liked it. I really thought it was great. I thought there was some great performances in it. I couldn't find a lot to not like about Air. It wasn't slow for a movie of its kind. It paced well. So definitely Air. My number 2 movie is going to be The Holdovers. That movie genuinely made me laugh multiple times throughout the movie.
That's cool.
I thought Paul Giamatti was great. What's that, Josh?
That's great. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, that was my number 2. And it was relatable to being somebody that, needs that figure sometimes in your life, that adult role model that you can start to relate to, that you misjudge, that is more like you than you would like to admit. And then I think my number 1 film, man, this sucks because if it's not my number 1 film, it drops to my number 4 film, right? So it's between probably Oppenheimer and this other film, but I'm going to go with Killers of the Flower Moon. I felt like sound mixing. I felt like the acting. I felt like Robert was great. I felt like the story was fun. I loved Lily Gladstone. It was shocking. Jordan just hates Jesse Plemons' face. Let the record show.
It's just too long.
It was very long, but I felt like it was a very good movie and a deserving of number 1. But I wish I had seen some other films that came out because there were some films I really wanted to see. Like American Fiction hasn't come out here yet, and I really want to see that movie because I really like Jeffrey Wright, but I won't get to see it for a bit. So, Josh, what were your top 3?
Hey, I think I'm gonna go with, I don't know if I have a particular order, but I guess number 3, is gonna be The Boy and the Heron. I thought that was a masterwork of animation. It's a movie that demands rewatching, maybe more than once. I mean, there's a lot of symbolism in every frame, and there's a lot to tell. It seems like a pretty deep movie. The first time around, I was in awe. So I'm going to be rewatching that the rest of my life. So it's number 3 for sure. As far as just hitting the mark every time, I'm going to go with everything Wes Anderson did this year because it all counts, sort of. But if I had to pick, I'll go Asteroid City. But he made the short films as well, and they were also
Asteroid City.
Yeah, but once again, man, I'm gonna be watching that movie the rest of my life, like on a regular basis. I love Wes Anderson. I always pick it up. I think I gave it a popcorn, but I also said, like, I think upon rewatch, it's gonna be a popcorn in 1 at least. It's just one of those movies. It's gonna grow, just like Budapest Hotel. I mean, I rewatch Wes Anderson constantly, all of his work. So there's that.
It's a grower, not a shower.
Yep. And I guess number 1 overall, I'm just gonna be nerd boy. It's Spider-Man, dog. Spider-Man. The animation is
Into
just
the
wonderful.
multiverse? Okay.
Or
not? It went into the multiverse. Which one? What was this one? It was
Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
Across
it
the
was
Spider-Verse. Thank you.
it was Spider-Man 2 Electric Boogaloo is what it was called. I think it was just a
Ooh.
what was that? So it was just
I was laughing at your terrible joke, Spider-Man 2 Electric
Oh, yeah.
Boogaloo. What
I
do you
was
want
waiting
from
for a
me?
follow-up.
You wanted to belly laugh?
I thought you were gonna do something like have a funny little quip, little comment.
It's a knee slapper.
Yeah, it's
But I'm glad you mentioned Electric Boogaloo #2.
Oof.
okay. Waiting for
I'm
the
not.
transition again. But anyway,
Well,
yeah,
we found
Spider-Man
out
was
where Leave the
what?
World Behind got its choreography for Julia Roberts and Mahershala Ali's dancing. I think we
Yeah.
figured that one out. So, Josh, why did you put us through this?
Okay, well, it was inspired by the trash heap you sent us last time around, so I was going for
Which was
some
better than
revenge.
this? Which was better than this?
Wow, bud.
Wow, bud. So much better.
Anyway, so that's how it started. But then I thought, you know what? Honestly, this is a movie that everyone needs to see. I mean, if I found out that someone had not seen Mighty Ducks 2, also a garbage pile of a movie,
10 times
you
better than
still
this.
love it.
It's Knuckle Puck time comes from the Mighty Ducks 2.
It's Knuckle
What
Puck
are
time.
you doing? We
Hey.
got to see that Jamaica has a hockey team because of D2.
All right, dude. I picked this movie because it is a classic. It is a cultural phenomenon. It didn't make any money. No, listen. Like it might not be your like where you watched, but a lot of people watch this on like public access a lot. Once upon a time, and it has like roots throughout. Like, you ever heard of Step Up? You ever heard of Step Up 3?
You ever
That's
heard
where
of You
this-
Just Got
That's where
Served?
all these things come
Come on,
from.
kids. You ever heard of a little film called You Are
Come
About
back.
to Get Served?
Come back. Come back. I loved it. I love this movie. It's
one on
it's-
one.
It's such a stupid movie that it's really just a lot of shots, and they thought, let's get in the editing room and make a movie out of whatever this is. And they threw some ADR in there, very evident in the Latina girl character, where like she's constantly like,
gosh.
"Oh mi amor," like it's not even her talking. They just threw that in. Why'd you put that in there? But the rotating house—that's an iconic dance scene. Pretty cool. The dance moves are stupid. There's hardly any breakdancing. This is a movie that you see when you're like 7 and you're like, yeah, let's just feel good and dance the problems away. Also, this is based on a true story. This is based on a true story of a place that was a community center they tried to save with a dance contest and they didn't, and it got demolished. And there's a mall there now. So this is the happy version of that. You know, it's a dumb movie. I know, man. It's so funny though. And why does everyone look bad? Have you noticed, like, all the main characters are good-looking kids, but for some reason they look as bad as possible. The weird haircut, this guy's face is like, he just needs a little bit of foundation or something, a little powder or something. Like, everyone's just, like, sweaty and wearing trash.
Oh, I'm sure there was plenty of powder going around this.
Hey, for me. Yeah, I give this a popcorn. I'm sorry you guys had to see this, but that's just the way it goes. People are throwing out their garbage. I'm going to give you some garbage. Next time around, I'll be a little more traditional and find a mind bender for you that you'll also hate.
So,
It was fun.
So much forced slang in this movie. So much forced slang. Like, not even necessary, just forced slang. And then the guy that talks Spanish to her explains what did she say? I think she said, "You're sexy, bro. You should go over there and talk to her." And I'm like, are you climbing a rope ladder at the carnival? Like, what is that dance? What is happening? And yes, the Mia Moore. And then I don't know if you guys noticed this, but in the hospital, he's in a hospital bed, and she just walks out of a closet. Why was she in the closet? Why did she walk out of a closet? What is going on there? She just walks. Look, guys, there's a door. There's a door to the hospital room, and she walks out of a closet. Also, why is there like a in freestanding in a hospital room for no reason? And how many villains are in this film? I'm so off track, just like this movie is. This movie's all over the place, just like my brain.
Right. I'm
There
not
are
here
like
to kill
7
kids.
villains. The guy that owns the construction company, the girl's agent, the girl's dad, the
rival girl.
governor's aide.
You better
The
get out of here.
rival
We
girl,
look better.
The rival guy that suspiciously looks like the villain from The Mask, starring Jim
Come back.
Carrey. Like, There are so many, the weirdest pickup instruction scene in movie history on how to pick up a girl. It's never gotten weirder than this.
That was weird, dude.
Randomly, I still love you, Ozone. Also, Spanish girl walks into a house where he is quite literally dancing on the ceiling, and she is not freaked out at all that she's about to get like her blood sucked by a vampire. Like that would freak you out. He's very clearly a vampire.
Hip hop. That's what hip hop's all about. You just don't get it, dog.
As I said before, so much passive racism on every side, from every angle. They were just tossing out passive racism like it was Cheetos on the set of Orange Fingers. I don't know what.
May I propose? Perhaps it's also maybe even equally heavy on the classism.
Yeah. It's heavy on every point it's trying to get across. I'm surprised the endangered owl species didn't live inside the building they wanted to burn down so we can get some PETA. Like it was just so weird.
It's a weird movie, dude.
So many unnecessary things. There's a scene where he smells a guy's butt and then dances it off. They ask if they could have a roll, and somehow they have like a choreographed routine for taking a roll off of a table.
Yeah, that's because they're so cool, dude.
I give it a popcorn if I have to. Jordan.
Yeah, I agree. It's a popcorn movie. It's a caricature-y after school special kind of movie. Yeah. I mean, it's there's a lot of positivity in it, I guess, but a lot of the racism and all that. I just have a lot of observations. Like, dudes just really dress like that, and people dress like that in general back then.
Mm-hmm.
Was that? Mm-hmm. Did they?
You said, like you were alive. Yep, 100% accurate.
Mm-hmm.
The dialogue is awful. You get the montages that just make no sense, even for a montage.
Yeah.
Just hey, the drugs must have been great back then. Popcorn.
Yeah, they had their magical scenes. I mean, when the magical mime boy like just makes the children appear, and he opens the doors and confetti comes out. Like, what are we doing here? What's going on? There's so much just like Sesame Street magic happening. And that's the kind of movie it is. It's an after-school special. A whole generation saw this film. It just wasn't ours. It was introduced to me through a friend, and I love it. I've seen it 5 times. It's just a bad movie to do chores to. Because once in a while you see it, they're doing the thing, and you can laugh at these terrible. What? I mean, it's foundational. Okay, everyone's taken from it.
It's funny because I've actually heard about this movie. I don't know where, but I knew about this movie from somewhere. And
yeah. Well, it's a Canon film, like Frank said earlier. The Canon Group. This is on the huge list of movies that just got dumped. Actually, Breakin' and Breakin' 2 were filmed back to back. They were released in the same year. They were filmed in the same location with the same characters.
Oh, man. I will tell you, I had seen it before, and I knew I had seen it somewhere. I was like, maybe I'm just thinking of that documentary, Electric Boogaloo. And there is a documentary on this. There's also a documentary on the movie, which my HBO wasn't working. So I tried to rent it on Amazon, accidentally paid $2.99 to rent the documentary. And I was like, what is this? And then I was like, oh my God, I paid money for the documentary. And then I found it for free on like some Trash Panda website.
Yeah.
So
R.I.P. Ozone.
I watched it there. I watched it there, but yeah, Ozone. It was just a weird movie. Jordan, what were you watching this week? Get this disgusting taste out of my mouth.
So I got to watch the short but so excellent first season of The Bear.
Okay.
On Hulu, I believe is where I watched this.
Yeah, Hulu, Disney Plus here in the UK.
Yeah, very quotable. Just some good foundational American TV. Just some, it's well on its way to being like, I'm sure we'll see how it's executed. Season 2's out. Season 3 is coming. Just how they bring this together. It's definitely on its way to be like, top 5 TV shows of all time. I could definitely see it. It's great. Popcorn at 3.
John Barenthal is so good in everything. Wait till you get to the Christmas feast. of The Seven Fishes.
Season 2?
Season 2. And just John Barenthal and help me out, the guy that plays Better Call Saul, the comedian.
Odenkirk?
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk. The dynamic between the two of them and the dialogue that goes on between the two of them is just fast. It's so good. Anyway, sorry. You said Pop 3 or Pop 2?
Pop 3.
Pop 3, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, show. It's got everything. It's just, humor, it's just got heartbreak, all that. It's just perfect show.
I want to watch it, but it's too close to home, dude. I've worked in so many kitchens just like that, and I'm not sure if I can handle that show. Might be too real.
Trauma.
Yeah. So next I watched Pete Davidson's stand-up special, Turbo Fonzarelli, on Netflix. I don't have too much to say about this. It had one, maybe two-ish, light chuckle moments. It's shot completely in black and white for some reason, and there's a lot of funky editing going on to I don't know what they're trying to add with that.
I'm so artistic, guys. I'm from New York.
Yeah, he talks in like this kind of dumb caricature voice when he's telling his stories, and it just kind of sounds like he's trying to imitate like Nick Kroll. Like maybe he watched a lot of Big Mouth before this came out, and he's trying to imitate. I'm trying to think of he sounds like the coach in Big Mouth. You know what I'm talking about?
Coach Dave or Coach I know.
Yeah, that guy. This is a total popcorn. It was not good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was a hard pass for me. If you have okay, look, you have 30 to 60 seconds to make a trailer of the best stuff that's in this show or this movie or this stand-up routine. And legit, I watched the trailer thinking, maybe I'll check this out. And I didn't laugh a single time in the 30. You clip an hour to find 30 seconds of this will make people watch. This is what it will take. And I watched it, and I didn't laugh once. I didn't smirk. I didn't even have the courtesy to say that's not even funny. I just was like indifference. Ugh.
Yeah, the recurring theme throughout his show is banging his own mom. It's what he keeps going back to. And cool. But he does have the good bit where I actually giggled was where he talks about having a stalker, and some of that was pretty funny. But it always divulges into poop in the pants, pee humor. You know what I mean? Like
that was the clip, by the way. The clip that led you into it was the stalker, and I didn't find that funny at all. It was just not. It was not creative. It was if you were hot, you wouldn't be a stalker. I'd be taking you out tonight.
You'd be my girlfriend.
That wasn't funny at all. Like that was the dumbest. That was the dumbest take on a stalker ever. That was the most mediocre sophomoric take I've ever heard. It was such a terrible joke. I was like, oh my god, stalkers are ugly. I'd never quite considered that. How relatable, Pete.
Totally, yeah. Popcorn. Next, I watched Echo on Disney Plus. D'Onofrio Alakwa Cox. She is fantastic in this. The way that they pull off the ASL in the show, like just how they get creative with it when there wouldn't normally, like in situations where there wouldn't normally be the means to have an interpreter, they find ways to pull it off that like totally don't take you out of what's going on. Cool. And it's just mesmerizing to watch, honestly. It's a short show. I think it's only 5 episodes, but it encompasses a lot. I think it could have used one more episode at least. That's why I give it a popcorn and 2. It needed a little bit more for me, and the final sequence was pretty underwhelming, to be honest. But there's a lot of culture in this, a lot of heart. There's an awesome Daredevil fight. I'm not spoiling anything there that's been put out into the advertising of this.
Yeah, we already got the title of the new Daredevil show for Disney Plus, right? Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah.
Born Again. Yeah, I heard they're accepting the old stuff. It's all like in the canon now.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. There's great action sequences in this. Again, popcorn and 2.
Yeah, I agree with you. Lots of fun stuff. Lots of small town stuff. Biscuit was fun, but I wish I got more of Billy Jack. You guys will know what I mean when you watch the show. I thought Billy Jack, dude. So Biscuit has a scene, and it's, do you have any weapons on you? Because we're going to need to fight. He goes, I got the perfect weapon. And I thought it was going to be Billy Jack. I swear I did. I was ready for it. And it was like a big rig, or it was a monster truck. And I was like, oh, whatever. But I thought it was going to be like something funny with the dog. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's going to be great because he has such a cool relationship with his dog through the whole movie or through the whole TV show. I was like, oh, the special weapon's going to be Billy Jack, and it wasn't. I was like, that's stupid. You should have made Billy Jack the special weapon. Missed
that dog is chomping nuts for sure.
Yeah, that's what I thought was gonna. Like, I legit thought they were gonna do something with him, and nothing. You don't get anything out of that. But yeah, the dynamic between the characters was good. The chemistry between the characters are good. Just like I said, John Barenthal is great. He is the Punisher. There is not another Punisher. John Barenthal is it. And any other Punisher, you're going to have a really tough time replacing a legend. It's like the coach that's got to replace Bill Belichick or Nick Saban. He's the GOAT of the Punisher.
There's other ways to play the Punisher, but the way he's playing it is it right now. So you can't replace that. Specifically him.
He's so perfect. And where I'm leading with this is Vincent D'Onofrio is Kingpin. He's Kingpin. Vincent D'Onofrio is so good as Kingpin. And every time we only get little pieces of him outside of the Daredevil series. And I just want more every time I see him. I'm like, dang, like just give me more D'Onofrio playing Kingpin. It's so perfect.
Does he have a scene where it's just like brutal, like he usually has once per season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the ice cream man.
With the ice cream man. What does that mean?
You're out of room reason.
All right.
I love the way he
for me, it is a top 2.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Jordan, go ahead.
So last, but certainly not least, I watched Worth on Netflix. This one came out a while ago, starring Michael Keaton. Very solid performance. Stanley Tucci is great in this movie as the counter. He's the counter to Michael Keaton, more or less, the friendly counter to his role. Amy Ryan, if anybody knows who that is, if you saw her face, you'd be like, oh yeah, she's in a lot of stuff. Yep. She's really, really great as well. Supporting cast is excellent. This movie's about the man who was put in charge of figuring out how much victims of the 9/11 attacks, how much they get paid. And the rub is kind of the rich. They set like a standard, like an overall, like this is what everybody's getting equally. And the rich people go, oh wait, but my husband was a CEO and he would make a lot more money if he were alive. So he deserves more. That's kind of the general rub of the whole movie. My only criticism is like the genuineness of Michael Keaton's kind of change of heart moment where he kind of like steps back and like, oh, these people aren't numbers. They are, everybody has certain circumstances that need to be considered. It just comes off not very sincere at first because it happens like really close to this deadline that he's put up against. It's like, oh, well, I guess I just got to concede now. Like it doesn't have enough time to develop. He's kind of very staunch in his view. And then it like just quickly. Yeah. So I give it a popcorn and 2. It was a good movie though.
Not a good change of heart moment, huh?
No.
Keaton's so good though. That sucks. I really like Keaton.
Hey, it's a popcorn and 2 movie. He was great. All the acting is great, but just that one little thing. It just didn't feel like a 3 movie for me, but it's definitely a 2. It's a good movie.
Oof. Yeah, for me, I'll be getting to the big Apple TV shows that are ending this week or the end of this week in my next week's review with the Godzilla Monarch show. I'll give a review of that. I will have finished it by then as well. I think I have the last 2 episodes queued up right now. And then For All Mankind Season 4, which had some funny twists, some interesting things go on. And those, For All Mankind isn't exactly a huge show for Apple, but it is an expensive show for Apple, and you can tell with the graphics they use, it takes place in outer space. So lots of different things and dynamic things going on in that show. But I watched Usher House, and I'm not going to give a long review here because Jordan gave a great review. I also gave it a pop too, but I was disappointed in one thing, Jordan. You didn't tell us it was loosely based on poetry. And to quote Josh, it's not Shakespearean, but it is very Edgar Allan Poe-ian.
Poetic.
It is based off the works of Edgar Allan Poe.
I did say that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yes, I did. I said
You
it's based
sure?
on it. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to rewatch the show now. But yeah, every episode is based on Edgar Allan Poe book or story or poem.
Poe book.
And it was very interesting. Don't get. I want a po' boy with a po' book.
I'm a po' boy. I'll egg around in po' books.
Talk to me about them Ravens, mama. but no, it was fun. It was a good show. You also, I felt like, left. It's not so much a story between the actors on screen that are his kids that are, brutally being taken out one by one. It is more a story of both him and the actress that plays his sister, and him and the actor that plays, what is it, Arthur or Artie is how they refer to the black lawyer.
Yes.
Artie, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
The dynamic between the two of them was so good. The give and take in every scene with the two of them in each scene, even the young version of the two of them, not quite as dynamic as the older versions of the two of them, but the give and take between those two characters and the struggle that those two had as their lives crossed paths was just very, very, very interesting. I did give it a pop too. It is a good story. I don't know. It might be better than Bly Manor, to be honest. Haunting of Hill House, I think, will always be the best because it was our first venture into this world. But I thought it might have been better than Bly Manor. Bly Manor
was probably my least favorite of the. I think he's come out with 5 shows. I haven't watched the young.
Yeah, you said Midnight Mass, and I haven't seen Midnight Mass.
That one's fantastic. I think I would put that one pretty close to the top. But then he has another one like Midnight Club or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one. I'd like to. So,
all right, we'll get to it. Just like we got to get to Josh's reviews from this week.
Hey, I only watched a couple of things. Both of them, a lot of gloss, not a lot of depth. Shallow waters, boys. Started with Tom Holland with the. No, I was
swim
just
in shallow waters, Josh.
Making a
Josh,
strange
I don't
pause.
know how to swim in shallow or deep waters.
Sometimes I like just a long pause. I don't know. I started with Uncharted. I keep wanting to say Uncharted 2 because it just seems like a sequel movie, even though there is only one. It's Tom Holland, Marky Wall, and they do a video game movie. Props because the movie starts off just like the game, where he's like flying off of the back of a plane. That's pretty cool. It was fun. It was cool. It was Lara Croft for boys, kind of, and I don't know. Mm-hmm. You have to just buy in, just like I said with the Electric Boogaloo. Everything's impossible. That happens. That would never happen. He can't do that.
Run up crates in midair.
You think that's structurally sound? Really? Stuff like that. Having a whole backpack full of solid gold, that's like 500 pounds or some shit. You know what I mean? Little things like throughout. And this would include the dialogue as well. It's cornball dialogue, but it's a flashy movie. You see it when you're a kid. You love it. It's somebody's drunk classic someday. Not mine. That's a popcorn. And then next I watched the new one on the Netflix. Mr. Kevin Hart has a movie called Lift. Kevin Hart on the news lately, catching shots.
I was gonna say, is this his first airplane movie since Soul Plane?
Uh-oh.
Maybe.
So this is Kevin Hart. I'm assuming with his movie studio that I'm assuming he's working with. I think he has like a thing going, right? He has like his whole situation.
I don't know.
So I haven't looked into it. I'm pretty sure this is like fully him, like his whole studio funded thing that he threw all of his money at. Mm-hmm. And it seems like that. It's a very flashy, high budget film, a lot of action scenes. This is a heist movie. Ocean's 11s, Italian jobbies, stuff like that. But it lacks depth, like I said before. It has this, this is my crew. He's the crazy one, the white guy who's eating beef jerky. This is the hacker, Spanish woman. This is the person who's also a hacker,
this
Asian
is the script
woman.
from Ocean's 11 that we stole.
Yeah. But they go to great lengths. They go to great lengths
This is Olga Staninovich, the most dangerous woman in the world with the red rubber ball.
And the masseuse. Yeah. And of course, I'm Kevin Hart, the black one who's cool. So it's Kevin Hart, and there's hardly any humor. This is a pretty serious movie. He's being the handsome, charismatic guy. He's not a Clooney. That's all I'm gonna say. He's no George Clooney. But it's art theft. The whole movie starts out. It made me laugh out loud because they do this big art heist, and it's not really much of a spoiler. It's the first scene, but it's a huge thing. And at the very end of it, we are the first people to ever steal an NFT. Okay, whatever
Screen
that
grab.
means.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did it?
So, that's cool. And then there's a whole nother thing, a big old heist and the lost love, we're getting back together. But there is a Vincent D'Onofrio, and he's in the movie as the Master of Disguise. So you see him trying on wigs and stuff and being weird. It's not like a breakout performance. It's clearly him halfway phoning it in, but D'Onofrio phoning it in is also great to watch. You know what I mean? He's still a great actor. He's D'Onofrio. He's the best.
He's just collecting the paycheck here.
Everything about it is just predictable, but it's a lot of gloss, a lot of fun scenes. That's a really big plane. But here's a few things. The cinematography was directed by whoever makes Apple phone commercials. Lots of location on site. They go all over the world, and there's a lot of drone footage, zipping in and out of London, and then Sri Lanka, all kinds of places. Lovable international crew, like I said. The writing is whatever. We've handled worse. If anyone can do it, you can. Stuff like that. My favorite part is they're on the big. There's a plane, right? Lift. There's a plane. It's plane themed in the end, and they're having their little phone conversations over the intercom with their crew, and there's bodyguards 6 feet behind them that are the bad guys, and they're not making code talk at all. Hey, are you guys ready to start this mission? Hell yeah, I'm ready to start this mission. And they're talking normal volume on an airplane. And there's killers, right? Anyway, silly popcorn.
Popcorn. Well. I'm going to do my best to give us a movie this week in our Drunk Classic that is not a popcorn. All right? I'm going to do what I can. Now, I did see Electric Boogaloo as seen. Josh, what's the story behind that? It's backwards. What's going on there?
What's backwards? Oh, the letters are backwards?
Your little... Your whole thing is, even the Roman numerals are backwards. It's very confusing.
How do you get Roman numerals? No, dude, really? I thought... this is written backwards. I thought I was tricking the camera. But the camera tricks you! Dang, my bad. We're going with it, because I spent a lot of time on this.
All right. So we're rolling with this. All right, so that is our scoreboard for the Drunk Classics. As you can see, Josh, who's leading the way with the most unseen?
I think I am the most unseen. I got 19, and that's all. Oh, that's 19 and a half. Jordan, you're... Oh, no. That's
who gives out half points? No, I'm just
14
kidding.
and a half. 14 to 14 and a half. Yeah, Jordan, you're in last place. Finally, I'm not losing.
All right, whatever. You guys with your old guy Gen X movies.
Well, here's the thing. This is the one I'm going to give this week is not going to be an old guy Gen X movie. I think it's a very good movie. I think you both probably have already seen it, to be honest, just judging by your styles. But I do think, in my personal opinion, it's Ryan Gosling's best performance. In my personal opinion, I think it is his absolute best performance. So, the Drunk Classic for this week, you guys already know what it is?
Barbie.
I'm going to take a guess.
Go ahead.
And say, Remember the Titans.
Mickey Mouse Club.
No.
Nope. It is Drive. Drive.
Okay.
Really?
With Ryan Gosling.
Cool.
I do think
Never
it is
seen
his
it.
best performance. Oh, we got one. Jordan's never seen it?
Nope.
All right, Josh?
I've never seen it.
Okay, wow. I thought you both had seen this just based on your styles.
No,
okay.
I keep hearing how boring it is, so I never watched it.
I love it. I love it. I think it is his best performance. I do. I think the Midnight City soundtrack throughout it really keeps the movie going well. I think it's well paced with the music. So I hope you guys like it. We'll see. Hopefully it's not a popcorn. As you guys know, I will not be on the show next week to talk it out with you guys. I'll give my review, and then we'll go from there. So I will also tell you that our Butter on Top this week is a freebie for all of you, but it's not on Freebie. It is on Hulu, and it is Self-Reliance, starring Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick.
Any thoughts on that?
Watching anything Anna Kendrick wants to make. It's fine.
Yeah, love her. Love the main actor in that. It's a comedy movie. See how it goes. Good.
All right, that's where we're at this week. Well, as always, everyone, we appreciate you joining us each and every week. Jordan, where can they reach the show?
At Popcorn and Beer on X.
So remember, we will see you at the movies. You get the popcorn. We got the beer.